Injury update to start off with. Nick Johnson and Eric Tangradi still out with a concussion. Aaron Asham has been symptom-free for 6 days now, today being his 6th, and was his second hard skate today, so he's moving in the right direction. Comrie was on the ice in full gear. He's been on the ice 3 times in full gear, but he's a considerable time frame away from even returning to practice. Brooks Orpik this Wednesday will be his second week out from his broken finger. Crosby and Malkin have no update, and Chris Kunitz is day-to-day with probable for tomorrow's game.
You know, as you said there before about Ashton being 6 days symptom-free, what's kind of your guys' timeline then as far as how many days away you have to be symptom-free before you start getting these guys skating, be it for him or Johnson or Sid or anybody else?
Yeah, you know what, we don't have one. The doctors are, the doctors have that time frame, and I'm not aware of where Aaron is. Aaron's got a ways to go conditioning-wise. I know going through some paces on the ice today shows where he's at, and he's got a significant amount of conditioning to do before he's thinks about being back in the lineup. But with the terms of following the protocol, it's not our protocol. That's the doctors and the doctor's timeline, and I'm not sure if it's different for every guy and different for every situation, depending on severity and the length of time out. I'm not acutely aware of that.
Dan, you had mentioned a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, that your roster circumstances were going to make you play playoff style hockey, and the games would take on that feel. Is that happening, and is that going to be a benefit when you eventually get there?
We've talked a significant amount in these games the past week, 2 weeks, of being comfortable in these types of games, knowing this time of year, that's the kind of hockey, this kind of room on the ice, and I think the games are ramping up. There's meaning to a lot of the games. There's playoff races going on. And I think you've seen that in the game. The last 4 or 5 for us have been that particular way. And I think there's not going to be a huge change in focus as the games keep getting more meaningful, and then you go into April. That we know exactly how the game's going to play out, and playing the way we played in Boston, pursuit of our puck, the way we played defense, allowing us to hound pucks and smother them, and then play in the offensive zone. That's exactly how it's going to be for us in every game and in the new playoffs. And I think guys should feel comfortable, and it should benefit us when it does get to the postseason.
Are you playing that way because of the time of year it is, or because of your limitations? Guys around?
I think it doesn't matter who we're going to get in our lineup or who we put in there. That's the way we intend to play, and we're playing it very well right now. So when you see Neil come into our lineup or Kovalev come into our lineup, they're coming in and expected to play that way as well, and that's how we're going to be playing down the stretch and right into playoffs when we get Kunitz back and Orpik back and into the playoffs.
Dan, with Orpik, is his cardio pretty good? Is it just simply a matter of him being able to grip his stick? That's going to talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, it's not so much gripping his stick as much as it is the further damage to the area. But his cardio is going to be great. He's telling me right now that his VO2 is going to be unbelievable when he comes back. Brooks is an extremely hard-working guy during the season, let alone when he's got a break from action like he is right now. But really, it's a concern of alignment of the bone, not so much grabbing the stick. If there wasn't any fear of going out of alignment, he would probably be able to play right now, with or without the grip of his stick. And Brooks has not relied on his hands too much in his career, so we shouldn't lose much there, and it's just a matter of getting to the point where they're healing enough that there can't be further damage.
Dan, could you talk about the acceleration of the development of the players that have come up from Wilkes-Barre by virtue of having them being thrown into the deep water here in what your impression is of those guys like Lovejoy, England, Letestu, Jeffrey, et cetera.
I'm not overly concerned with throwing them into the fire, so to speak, or putting them in roles. They're used to those roles. So we try to put players in situations where they're best suited to be in, not wean them in on a fourth line, and you have to be there for a year and a half before you can move up to the third line. And but I think the confidence that the players have in knowing how to play, what's expected, what their line mates are going to be doing, they don't have to worry about where they're standing on the ice. They can play their role. They can be Dustin Jeffrey and play on on a third line role situation with good players. They can be on the point, the power play, can be on the penalty kill. Those defensemen, Derek England and Ben Lovejoy, have been used in shutdown roles and penalty kill situations in Wilkes-Barre, and they've been that player for us. And we saw it last year with her kind of getting thrown to the fire and playing the 18, 20 minutes for our team last year, and now in the situation we're in, getting to play those types of minutes and against those types of guys. They've been in those spots. They know what's expected of them, how we're playing, and I think it gives them the ability and the confidence to step into those spots and add to our team and add to the way we play. And they've done a remarkable job in a lot of those situations.
And as far as Kunitz goes, did he suffer a setback, or is he just kind of getting to 99%, not able to get over the hump with his injury? And when he does come back, which center do you see him most likely playing with if you got Mark between Kobe and James Neal?
Yeah, did not suffer a setback. Just much like the Brooks Orpik situation, can't put his injury and go put him out there if he's in danger of hurting himself further or doing real damage, and he's just not to the point yet where that's the case. So he did not suffer a setback, just wasn't ready to get into the game and put him in that situation. As far as the centerman, most likely would be Jordan Stahl. Play the left wing with Jordan Stahl and Tyler Kennedy, and keep the line you mentioned together at this point in time. But he played with Jordan Stahl when he first got here for a number of games and had success there, and was a good fit. So possibly that as his centerman.
Last one on the back end.
Coach talked to James today, and he talked about the life change that you go through when you go through a trade and how it's not that easy. Do people underestimate how difficult that is to go through, and how do you help a player go through that? And I apologize if the answers before. Is there any update on Sid?
There was not an update on Sid to start off with. James Neal changed. The thing I think, James Neal has been in one organization for his whole life. He's known one color, has known the same thing year after year. You get comfortable in that. You get comfortable in coming to that rank, into that organization, coming into that training camp with that group of guys. And to change is almost changing a language. You go to a different language, you go to a different color, you go to a different city. And it's easy to jump in and step into a locker room with a group of guys and feel accepted, but it's different to think you're doing the right thing, what language they're speaking, what kind of identity and how the team plays, and he's been working extremely hard and trying to adapt, almost too hard. Instead of being relaxed in what he brings to our team and his role on a team, but that takes some time. But he said it to me again today. He said, "You just keep telling me those things, and it makes a difference like that when I know what's expected, know what you're talking about, understand the picture that you're trying to paint." And as far as getting used to the city and those types of things, to slowly get acclimated to that. His boxes don't all fit in the Cambria Suites, but I think they'll find some storage for him. But he's fit right in with our group, and he's a guy he adds right to us. We saw that in the game against Boston, but it does take a while to get, to take the green tattoo off and make it black and black and yellow.
Thanks, Dan.
Thank you.